Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're safe and well, and I hope you enjoy the video. Right, today is a Johnny Depp, a bit of a Johnny Depp day. Johnny Depp movies. I've been a fan of Johnny Depp for all my life really, as long as I can remember. I think he's a great guy and a great actor, great musician, artist, everything. So I watch his films, and even more so after this Amber Heard kind of feud. I think he's kind of been loved even more, and I think his movies have got a lot more attention. So, all Johnny Depp films for today, I'm afraid. So the first film on the list is Black Mass. Now, the reason I picked Black Mass is on Netflix, starring Johnny Depp. It's not necessarily something I'd usually review. It's not something that I'd usually go, oh yeah, you should watch this. This will be really, really cool. Because it's just another gangster film. It's just another, just your stereotypical kind of crime gangsters kind of movie. So it's kind of no different to most crime movies or thriller movies out there. However, the reason I picked it is because it is very, very good. It's done very, very well, but also because it's so unlike any other Johnny Depp film. And it was like, wow. I mean, this story tells the story of a guy called Whitey Bulger. He was a real dude. He operated in Boston in, I think it was kind of like the 70s and 80s. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he was kind of in the Irish mob. I think he was the head of a kind of like an Irish mob crew out in Boston. And he was really, really horrific. He ended up kind of working for the FBI in exchange for kind of not going to jail, basically, for the stuff that they had him on, because at the time the Italian mob was kind of the bigger threat. So he kind of said, look, if you just let me do my thing, I'll basically help you take down the Italian mob, which is the bigger threat. And it's kind of the story of how he's kind of just using them. He doesn't really give them any information, and he's just kind of stringing the FBI along just so he can kind of get kind of do his business scot-free, basically. Yeah, it's done really, really well. You know what I mean? Camera work, acting, performances, direction, writing, story, it's all top notch. I can't fault any of it. So you will enjoy it if you're into that kind of true crime genre or biography films. But the reason I picked this film in particular is because I'm used to seeing Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, Willy Wonka, the Mad Hatter, or even just playing a normal guy like he does in The Ninth Gate, or other films he's done where he's just kind of a normal dude, or he plays a really, really friendly dude. But it's so unusual to see him play this horrendous, and when I say horrendous, I mean horrendous, bloke. He can play a villain really well, terrifyingly well. So I think the reason I'm recommending this is basically just for Johnny Depp's performance. He is terrifying. Do you know what I mean? The range this guy has to go from some of his characters to playing Whitey Bulger in Black Mass is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, his prosthetics that he wears, he's got makeup on, and he's got these really blinding, piercing, bright blue eyes. And yeah, he does intimidation, fear, psychopathy, stone face kind of fear very well. And it looks nothing like Johnny Depp. And yeah, I think it's kind of a film that may have gone a bit under the rug because it was kind of during this Amber Heard when he was first getting accused of stuff. But yeah, please give this film a watch. It's phenomenal. I believe it's on Netflix. The next film on the list, and I'm not sure how many people have kind of seen this film. I'd never heard of it. And I think that's what Johnny Depp does. He's done a lot of films. A lot of his films, apart from obviously Jack Sparrow and Willy Wonka, have kind of been very, very low key. They've kind of been either indie films or films that didn't pick up too much traction or independence, but they're really good. Every Johnny Depp film is really, really good. And I'm not biased, they are actually just really, really good. This is on Disney Plus. It's called From Hell. Now, From Hell, this film is an adaptation of a graphic novel. It is a kind of made up story. It's based on a conspiracy theory about who Jack the Ripper was. And Johnny Depp plays Sergeant Aberline, Detective Aberline, real life detective, the very, very famous London detective who coincidentally solved or kind of tried to solve the Jack the Ripper murders. This was his kind of famous case, and of course in real life he failed. But yeah, before all the reviewers get on it, obviously it's not historically accurate. It is made up. It is like just a kind of fantastical interpretation of an event. It's based on a graphic novel, so kind of don't take it too seriously on the kind of realism or accuracy point of view, because that's not what this film's about. And yeah, it's just about him trying to hunt down Jack the Ripper and kind of save the women he's murdering. The thing I like about it though is it kind of like you kind of follow the women and their stories. It kind of humanizes them a bit, and you see their struggles, you see their lives, what kind of personalities they had, and that's really, really good. It's kind of hard to explain without ruining it, so I'm not going to kind of say too much about it, but it is based on the Masons and Prince Edward, which is a real theory. It's more of a conspiracy theory. There's not a lot of evidence, and yeah, but obviously it's very, very stylized. It's very kind of slashery and comic book-esque, but it is really, really, really good. So I think you should give that a little watch. Now, this is actually one of Johnny Depp's most recent films. Came out in 2019, 2020, I believe. It's called Minamata, and it's based on a true story. It follows Johnny Depp, who plays the real life journalist slash kind of documentary photographer, W. Eugene Smith. Real life photographer. It's just a fantastic performance. The film's beautiful, beautifully filmed, written. And this guy who he plays, he was basically like a journalist, documentary photographer, and then he ended up kind of working for certain journalistic magazines where he done the photography. He's kind of down on his luck. He's kind of lost his wife, his kids don't really talk to him, and he's kind of very troubled mentally, and he's kind of reverted to alcoholism to kind of deal with those issues. So it's kind of about a man who's down on his luck. He's become from everything he's seen, he's become very cynical of the world. He's seen a lot of pain, a lot of turmoil with his photography. And yeah, he's kind of a man who's on his last rope, really, kind of both living, both health-wise and mentally. And he's hired by Robert Hayes, played by Bill Nighy, who's the head of this magazine, and he works for him, and he's sent out to Japan to basically document the effects of Minamata disease, which is a horrific illness that kind of causes brain tissue to die, so you kind of become kind of brain dead or brain damaged, to the point of paralysis. Your body seizes up, you lose all your muscles and your weight, you're paralyzed, you lose kind of all motor neuron function and brain function. It's horrific, and this is real, and it's basically caused by dirty drinking water, contaminated water and contaminated food, and it was basically caused by this kind of big power plant, or kind of I don't really know. It was a big factory, this big factory that ran some sort of business that developed stuff, made products, but the products were forming waste that were infecting kind of the food and water supply of this area in Japan and giving them this horrendous disease. And they're kind of in denial about it. They're saying that, you know, this factory's perfectly regulated, there's no problems with it, and we're not doing anything wrong. And these poor folks are like, no, you're killing people, you're ruining people's lives, and we're going to sue you, and we want justice. But it was kind of a big cover-up, and Johnny Depp's character is basically there to take photos of people with this disease and to document this illness and to document this area and people's stories. And his goal is to kind of expose these crooks, these big CEOs, and post them on this magazine that Bill Nighy runs, which is a massive New York and American tabloid, and spread it globally, what they're doing, and to get justice. And it's heart-wrenching. It's pretty horrific. So a little word of warning before you watch it. It's not an easy watch. There's some quite vivid, nasty imagery. So yeah, I would watch it with caution, but definitely give it a watch. Johnny Depp plays the character really, really well. He kind of really nails his cynicism and this really sensitive, caring, loving soul at the same time. He's kind of very given up and cynical, but very warm, loving, empathetic, feeling, intelligent person too. And it's really, really nice. He really, really nails it. And the last film is a film called Secret Window. I believe this film is on Amazon Prime. I really, really like this film. However, I don't feel like it will be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm kind of a bit of a film buff, so I kind of like this stuff. When stuff gets a little weird, gets a little indie, arty. It is pretty odd. It's very difficult to explain. Johnny Depp basically plays a writer, and I believe he's in New York State, but out in the country. And he's kind of just isolated himself. He's kind of like in this cabin in the woods, if you will, or kind of just outside a very, very small kind of rural town. And he's an author, or who's down on his luck. He wrote some good books in the past, got some recognition, made some money, but now he's kind of struggling to think of ideas. He's just a bit down on his luck, isolated himself, lost his girlfriend, lost his house because they got divorced. He's struggling, and one day this bloke knocks on his door and basically says, "You've stolen my story. You've plagiarized my work. I wrote this story. This isn't yours, and I want you to kind of reimburse me for it. What are you going to do about that?" And Johnny Depp's like, "You're a nutter. This is my story. I wrote this." And then he's like, "No, you didn't. This is my story." And so it kind of starts off him just basically trying to prove to this bloke that he wrote this book, and not this other guy. And in the end, but this guy is kind of he's a nasty bit of work, and he kind of starts doing very murderous stuff. And sociopathic stuff, really, to Johnny Depp, in retaliation for stealing his book idea and for not giving him the proof. And yeah, it's kind of like a psychological thriller, so it's quite weird. You have to pay attention to it. And yeah, he starts doing these nasty things to Johnny Depp. He like kills animals and leaves them outside his door. He ends up killing people. It's pretty messed up. If the best way to describe it really is, it's kind of like a modern day version of a film called Misery, which you should watch. It's a cult classic. It's kind of that kind of vibe. That's kind of the tone you're going for here, the kind of the storyline you're going for there. And yeah, and it's kind of moves on to the mental decay of Johnny Depp's character and how all this affects him. And obviously it's a psychological thriller, so there's weird twists and turns. And yeah, I actually spent a lot of the film kind of trying to guess, oh, he's going to do this, or this is going to happen, or he's in here, but yeah, really, really good film. Old film, 2004, but yeah, really, really, really cool. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is the end of the video. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, and hope you're well, hope you're safe. Goodbye, peace.